Welcome everyone to Price Action Live at TradersPost for October 29th, 2025. I'm one of your traders, Tom Hartman, alongside Mike Linear Regression Christensen, co-founder and CSO of TradersPost. Up to 4 days a week at Price Action Live, we trade in front of you using the advanced trade execution engine known as TradersPost, the epic software that upgrades your trading. Whether trading stocks, futures, options, or crypto, TradersPost has got you covered. Today's stream is brought to you by Blue Sky, the best-in-class prop firm that offers same-day activation, daily payouts, and no max restrictions. Visit bluesky.pro and sign up for your first prop firm account today and trade futures like never before. That's Blue Sky, BLUSKY.pro. Mike, today is Fed Day. It's a national holiday.
That just means we're going to have a really slow open today. Nothing's going to happen until the announcement is made. Unfortunately, like every time we've had a Fed decision day, it's been pretty boring prior to the event. So I would expect today is going to be pretty choppy, and that would mean we're going to scalp today.
Hey, Ventura, nice to have you here. Welcome. Fed Day is one of my favorite days because it's sort of like I care a lot about macro trends, macro stuff. And on Fed Day and leading up to Fed Day and afterwards is where I get like my fill of all that macro stuff. You know, like how if you are a political wonk, you're paying attention to midterms and primaries all over the place, but most people just pay attention to the election when it happens, a little bit before, a little bit after. Sure. So this is the time where it feels like everyone's on my page. Everyone's talking about interest rates for bonds. People are talking about liquidity, repo markets. I go, yeah, I want that content.
Finally, speaking Tom's language.
Exactly. And then after this, everyone goes back to CVNA and and stocks and individual names.
That's right.
You're also today you were saying $9.16 trillion worth of earnings to be reported after the bell today.
I'm going to pull the economic calendar up and pull the earnings up for today after the bell. And this is crazy to me to even imagine we live in this territory now. And I recognize that some of this is inflation, of course. But still, we had our first $1 trillion company, what feels like just a few years ago. And now $9.16 trillion worth of companies are reporting after the bell today. Meta is 1.89 trillion, Google is 3.24 trillion, and Microsoft is reporting at over $4 trillion. So we could see, a massive increase in overall earnings valuations by the end of tomorrow, because then it gets even more exciting when we have $2.44 trillion Amazon reporting and almost $4 trillion Apple reporting tomorrow as well. By Friday, then all the excitement's gone. All the trillion-dollar companies or multi-trillion-dollar companies have reported. But this is a big week for earnings. I want to keep an eye on what happens here. Obviously, all of these companies are NASDAQ constituents, so it's worth paying attention to what happens to NQ here as well.
Yeah, since we're trading prop firms, we can't necessarily take advantage of whatever pop might happen there. But is it happening like does it say the time? Is it happening like at 4:10, 4:15 sort of thing, or is it happening way after that?
Yeah, no, all of them are reporting exactly at the bell. So all of them are set here at 1400. So right at the bell.
Okay, well then I have to have a trade on at that time.
Just a long trade. That's kind of the beauty of futures, right? Is we can hold any positions we have at the bell today. We can hold through to 4:15. So at least with many firms, they'll let you hold until 4:15. I think Apex lets you hold all the way to the maintenance window, so you can hold it until 5.
Oh wow!
Which is great because like tomorrow, Apple reports at 4:30. So if you've got that extra window, you could hold right to the 4:30 time. But today, I probably will eyeball what happens at the 50 in the last 10 minutes of the session, see what the price action tells me, and I might hold through to the end because these could cause the market to rip up pretty hard. That's for sure.
I mean, that would be my assumption.
Yeah. I don't expect downside. I mean, even if it's a miss, there'll probably be a candle spike and then it'll move in the bullish direction. How you doing, B Blue? Thank you for joining us.
It's funny. Back in you read like reports, and I'll watch news reports and read papers or whatever back from the 90s, because I really want to feel what the 90s were like. And they'll talk about $100 million as like in hushed tones,
Right.
and now you'll have $100 million seed rounds for startup companies,
Right.
and you're like, that it's sort of like, hey, you don't even pay attention to the 100 million now.
Yeah.
I was watching Caleb Hammer, the financial auditor on YouTube, and he was auditing someone who's just making just 7 figures a month, and they're not even like the big dogs in the space. It's just a regular, top 20% person making this sort of money. So just like when I look at trillions now, I sort of have to get it out of my head like this is a problem, that it's like rarefied air or whatever. Sure. It's the equivalent of billions is the equivalent of millions back in the day. So that means we're going to have quadrillion by the time you and I are pushing walkers down the street.
I like these old inflation calculators where you can, if you go to the BLS, they have that old school inflation calculator. So we could put in, if we just put in like 4,000, for example, and put it back to 1992, let's say, just early 1992. Now we're kind of trying to go backwards a little bit here, but essentially it's if it's hard to go. I was hoping we could do this backwards, but let's just say, let's make this 1,000 would be 2,300. So the ratio today from 1992 to today would be 2,351. So if we do,
my problem with these things is that they don't. They change the inflation calculation.
So that would mean that even back in 1992, given the economic powerhouse that Microsoft is today, it still would have been worth $1.7 trillion back in 1992 if it was capable of what it does today.
Right.
It's just we had a different industry back then.
Right. Exactly.
It's just crazy to think about. Even accounting for inflation, these are still behemoth companies. JWage has been vibe coding calculators lately. Oh, well, yeah, I think we need to reach out to John and have him add our market cap inflation adjustment calculator to the TradersPost dashboard so that I can very quickly monitor what would Google have been like in 1992. Thanks for the idea, Aventura. I'll throw that in front of John.
Well, we have 5 minutes until market opens. We tend to favor the NASDAQ. So I'm wondering what levels, if we're going to be talking about levels today, what levels are you looking at?
I'm about to throw out the resistance lines because all day yesterday, I just found myself raising the R1 level over and over again. And I'm like, why am I even playing with this thing? It doesn't even matter. If we're just going to keep going up and going up and going up. No, I joke a little bit here. I think as I'm looking at this gap, well, let's go back to the 2-minute chart here. We have 3 unmitigated gaps now that essentially are telling me that if we don't correct here, these will never go filled. That seems really unlikely to me. Obviously, gaps tend to fill over the long run. Even if we just come back and fill the 25,973 level, which would have been yesterday's gap for Tuesday. We have not yet filled the 25,512 gap from Monday, and we also haven't filled the $25,200 gap from Friday of last week. And that's why this is extending off to my chart here, because this is still an unclosed gap. All that said, this is a huge run here. I would expect that even if we just followed a simple Fibonacci retracement here, we would come back to maybe the second gap here at 25,500. Right. So I'm kind of I'm kind of expecting that 25,500 might be a level we come back and revisit, which is a pretty big move here. We've got almost 600 points to get to that level, 700 points. But at some point we're going to need to pull back here. This can't be green forever, right? All the way up to the other side of this regression band on the daily chart. So I'm not sure. I don't know where resistance is. I'm still going to play the VWAP game today, Let's see if we find and post a trend above or below VWAP, and we'll follow what happens there. Yesterday was a great example of just needing to do that. I had set up some shorts. I started to see an indication that we were going to trend to the downside. I thought the pullback was coming. I got stopped out of my shorts. Once we posted to the other side of VWAP here, though, the trend continued for the rest of the day, but I had already hit my max loss or acceptable loss for the day. So I didn't get to carry out this trend. So today I'm going to see if we can get a trend to form correctly above or below VWAP earlier in the session, so I don't lose out on that opportunity.
That's right. So 25.5 is one of my lower levels that I'd be expecting at some point. Ultimately, I would love to see 25 to 20, because when I say love that, when we clear the weekly VWAP levels, the unmitigated VWAP levels, then the upside is way clearer. There's less of a pull down for the price, and I'm far more comfortable taking a larger size to upwards. This is why I want the market to fall, so that I can turn long afterwards and not be like I'm in rarefied air right now.
Right. We don't want to hurt people's 401ks, but we do expect retracements from time to time. Yeah,
exactly. So a 3% drop is like, not going to hurt people, and it'll recover soon.
Yep. B Blue asks in the comments, can I show the JSON line alerts for scalping? Can I take a screenshot? I'm going to show you how to build it first from TradersPost. So Tom, if you can let me share my screen. We're not going to take the first trade from the open anyway, so we have a couple minutes here before we go take a look at the charts. When you log into TradersPost, if you head to your strategies and you head to the dashboard, you put in the ticker name that you want to trade. I'm going to put in MNQZ. I'm going to add a take profit and a stop loss to my market entry. I don't need to change any of the settings here because my strategy settings already dictate that I'm going to be in a market order. So I'm going to set the relative take profit amount. We can set that to 10 points. And then the stop loss is a trailing stop with an amount of 20 points. Now, what I want you to do is, there's nothing else in here. What I want you to do is save this signal template. So this would be a scalp buy, and choose TradingView as the source. Use the hard-coded ticker, and that's going to give you the JSON message that you'll need for your line alert. This includes the ticker, the action. There's no quantity defined because that would be in your settings, but if you want to add a quantity, you certainly can. Take profit would be set. Stop loss is the trailing stop here. Here's the time. Here's the signal price. Here's the interval. All of that is what I have on my support and resistance line alerts. So let me pause that real quick. I'll show you. Here's the scalp line long entry, and here's the message. It's basically the same thing. Buy quantity 1. Here's the price, which is the same as signal price. Here's the time. Here's the take profit. Here's the stop loss. In many cases, I use 20 points as take. Sometimes I do 10. It just depends on where ATR is at. The nice thing about doing it this way is before I go and replay the alert, I'll sometimes come in here and change the values so that when it gets sent over to TradersPost, I have a different take profit and a stop loss for almost every trade. I hope that helps. I want you to take a look at this signal template system that we built here, because this effectively allows you to save this as a template. So that if you want to go in and copy that alert in the future, it's already here on your dashboard for your strategy. And it's always editable too. So you can come back in here and change some settings and make the JSON available to you on each strategy. Would love you guys' feedback on this too. This feature is kind of relatively new, but I'm hoping over the long run, it makes it easier to build your messages and then quickly copy and paste them over to TradingView.
We have a fight here at open on the NASDAQ. Beautiful candle on the 1 minute, but I'm a reform trader and I look at the 5 minute now in order to trade properly.
Hello, my name is Tom. I'm a 1 minute-aholic.
I knew I went too far when the other day for a moment I went down to the 15 second.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's it. Tom, you've had one too many drinks. Time to move on.
No problem, B Blue. I hope that helps.
Interesting. thing open here. So you were talking about before the stream started this the indicator that you coded and that you even showed briefly yesterday.
Yeah.
Can you please just run me through that one more time? Because now I go, one, I want that indicator, and two, if it starts to trend, now I have a reason, an indicator to look at and be like, hey, I should actually follow this trend for the rest of the day.
Got it.
Can you give me a run through?
Sure. So I'm calling it the, this is a new thing Pine Editor is doing. When you go to edit an existing Pine script, it just opens up a blank untitled one instead of showing you the source for the one you just clicked on. So you have to go hit it twice. I don't know why. Anyway, here's the code. You can, I'll copy this and paste it over here in Slack to you.
Awesome.
But I'll leave it up here for everyone else as well. I'm probably not going to publish this one because I'll keep playing with it, but the concept is really simple. If the low is above VWAP and it closes above VWAP, then that adds to a positive score. If the high is below VWAP, then that adds to a negative score. And what we're looking for is the accumulation of this score throughout the session above or below VWAP. The thinking behind it is that once you've established a trend, you're going to get a stronger and stronger score throughout the rest of the session, because trends tend, the price tends to trend above or below VWAP for the rest of the session. As we look at most of the intraday sessions, regular trading hours, once the trend has been established above or below VWAP, it tends to stay in that direction. So you can see that there's these little gaps in the indicator, and this basically tells you, oh shoot, this went back above VWAP again. But more often than not, this is a solid green, solid red, solid green day. And that just tells you that, you want to stay on one side of the trend or the other. And what I'm trying to do is avoid the chop at the beginning of the session. So I want to see my indicator flash green or flash red before I get involved in a trade, because I've just made the mistake of getting involved too early and then trading the chop and then getting chopped out.
Right.
So this is kind of helping me set another boundary, another rule for my approach. I've got the chop indicator on here already, which tells me whether we're in a trend or chop. I've got my VWAP counter in place, which tells me whether we've started to build a score on one side of VWAP or another. And then I keep track of ATR as well. And I try not to trade when it's too volatile or too little ATR.
I love that, because I've been finding it very difficult to determine a trend. For my trend indicator does not give me such a clear-cut information. I'd like, this is the idea for the trend for the session. It's way more sporadic, or it flips back and forth. And so it gives me too many reasons to doubt myself when I'm in a position. But something like that, when I have an indicator that's clearly showing me something, it's very hard for me to go against it. Very difficult.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of playing around with that. I would add, that it's showing the trend both for the session and then also for the EVWAP, just to see where that stuff meets. And maybe when both of them in the right direction, that's the trend to take.
That's an interesting point. I might make a second one that just calculates for EVWAP as well.
Right. So are you using AI, the PineScript agents that we built for TradersPost, in order to build it out, or are you manually doing it like a Luddite?
Luddite? I don't think
manually
Luddite would even the computer. I actually used ChatGPT to generate this script, and I just gave it some rules I needed it to follow, and it did a pretty good job. It tried to plot some values that didn't make any sense, but I made some corrections to it, and it came out pretty good.
Awesome.
So right off the bat here, you can see we're starting to generate a -1 score, and we have a red band here because the high is below VWAP. So there is a chance here that if this bar closes in the next minute, I'm probably going to get ready for a short scalp.
All right. I'm already in a short. So we'll see how that goes. I went long up to, from the open up to 290, which worked out. Here, let me just show my indicators here and why I focus on the 5-minute chart and 15-minute VWAP. So these white lines are 15-minute VWAPs that get their levels that are unmitigated.
Yeah.
And so I went long into the open up to here and then shorted from here. So the idea is that because of a short bias for the day, because we're overbought on the 2-hour, I was looking for a perfect entry for the short, which would be exactly where I got in at 291.
Yeah, let's try it here. I'm getting in a little early.
Now we're headed towards VWAP, which is at 251. So I am going to keep my stop tight. That's my other thing. I have this other rule, like exit at because we'll get to a level, and sometimes I don't want to let go of the position because I'm like, well, what if we just keep going?
Mm-hmm.
So my rule now is exit the position at the level, set another order to get back in lower down.
Got
just because then the bounce happens, and I go, oh, I knew we could bounce there. Yeah, but you didn't do anything, you idiot.
All right, so this will be trade number 1. This is a scalp, and I got in because we had a close below VWAP.
Good morning, Jarmo. Nice to have you here. All right.
ATR is in a decent place too. We started the day with a 70-point ATR on the shorter period, but I like where it's at right now. We've got a pretty good size on ATR. 20 points is fantastic for a decent trend. I'm a little bummed because that trailing stop just stopped me out, unfortunately.
I got stopped out too.
Okay, so that one was about 20 bucks. Let's give it another try here in a minute. As you can see here, this is another good reason to just wait for the candle close, because my indicator repainted and that red bar went away.
Right.
And that's because during that candle, right after I got in, it actually wicked above VWAP.
I see.
Hey, TJ, thanks for joining us.
All right. As Mike likes to say, the Bulls won it.
Won it.
All right. We didn't actually touch VWAP, so it would be against my rules to go ahead and press go for a long here. I'd actually be looking for a short, but yeah. Let me try that short again.
27. Yeah, I still think we might be in a short here, but I need my indicator to tell me whether we're ready.
Right.
This is well, we're also right above VWAP, which has been my other fast.
Achilles heel, some might say. Can't short at VWAP.
What a run, though. Since October 22nd, just nothing but straight up on the 2-hour chart.
I try not to think about it. I'm hardly even, it's too depressing. I shorted that entire way.
I'm the same. Yeah. I think my short to long ratio, or my long to short ratio, if you will, is probably 1 long for every 6 shorts that I keep trying to take. No wonder I'm not getting to a payout yet. It's just silly.
It makes me miss the Trump tariff war things, because they were just doing these great volatility zigzags for weeks, and I would just go long in the overnight, short during the day, long during the overnight, short during the day. It was like printing money. Yeah. And of course it stopped exactly when I figured it out. So thanks.
Right. And that's going to be the funny thing, right? Is the moment I get neutral finally and decide I'll just go long above VWAP and short above, it's going to get real bearish all of a sudden. This is my dilemma always, is that I think the moment I finally get bullish is the moment I should be bearish. That's right. I remember chatting with Rebecca Trades about that. She always has a short bias as well, and she mentioned on Twitter a couple weeks ago that she had taken a long for the first time in a while, and I was like, yeah, that's how they're going to get you, though. It's the moment you start getting into the longs, and it went up another,
right,
1,500 points since then. TJ says, zoom out and your senses will self-correct. No, you don't understand, TJ. All this tells me is we are gearing up for one of the biggest sell-offs we've seen in a while.
Exactly. It makes me want to short that much more. That's why I can't look at it. If I just stay on the 5 minute, then I don't get confused.
Yeah. No, to be fair, I really am trying to get better about trading either side of VWAP and not caring about what directionality it's going, bull or bear. It doesn't really matter. It's obviously a bull market. I completely agree with you. I should have a bullish bias. I just enjoy taking shorts better. I've made a lot of money in shorts over the years, and I can sense the price action. It's a little different there than the price action to the long side, especially with days like yesterday that just crept up for most of the session. This is not the way short selling activity works. There's more panic in a short sell. There's more panic in sell-offs, and it's just easier to detect that signal than it is on the long side.
It's like Tanner was saying yesterday, like there's no levels. There are no levels in blue sky territory. So I just don't know what to target.
The only thing I'm relying on is the top wick and the middle of my regression trend at 374. Those are maybe resistance levels, but this price action has proved us wrong over and over again. So.
That's right. All right. So the question is, how much do we want to get chopped up in the open if your indicator suggests that the trend is, or is it that we should scalp in the open and trend afterwards?
Yes, that's exactly correct. So I've adjusted my rules to switch to that thinking, because you can scalp in a trend, but you can't put on a trend trade in chop, right? So you can scalp chop or trend. And that's where I've been more successful. Where I've lost more money has been when I try to trend in a choppy environment. So my objective now is to always start the session with just scalp trading. And then once a trend is established, then I'll ride that trend for the rest of the session.
Right. I'm adding that to my list of mic quotes.
This is great right here. This indicator is really saving me already. Like, don't do anything. There's nothing happening. Not that I should need it. That's obviously sideways right there.
But does it feel that way? Whoa. What's going on? There we go.
What was that?
There just went to static rain in the AI generated music.
AI music. That's funny. Speaking of AI music, have any of you guys been experimenting with platforms like Suno or any AI music generators? Tom and I have been going crazy with this. I have more of a music background. Tom does as well. I was a musician as a kid. I was in a band in high school and really enjoyed all my musical days. I have riffs that I wrote in my 20s on guitar that eventually I was like, oh, I'll make this into a song one day when I have time. And now I can go back and find these riffs and load them into Suno, and it makes entire songs from them. It's incredible. Even being able to take lyrics that I wrote back when I was a teenager and have it generate song ideas from it. I think that use of AI is the coolest I've seen in a long time.
I almost exclusively listen to my own AI music, because every time I listen to music on the, on Spotify or whatever, all I keep thinking is, why didn't they say this instead? Why didn't the music do this instead? And so now I get that. I don't know if I ever told you this. I grew up from a musical family. My father was a singer in a band. Yeah, my mom was a backup singer to my father, and I remember just being like, I'm more technical in like how producing the music. I could see I could hear what sounds right. I could feel what feels right, but I hate playing instruments, even though I was good at sax and drums. Now with Suno, it makes me feel like I'm 15 again, and I can actually get all those tunes out.
It brought the excitement back for me, because I don't like the workload of producing music. It's so laborious.
Right.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear, Aventura. I didn't know you were a musician as well. Were you also a music theory guy? That was my focus in high school. Listen to Jason from Crowded Market Report and you'll cure your short bias. All right, that sounds good. I'll take a look. Thanks for the reference.
So every night I go through the daily news just to see what's going on. That's the news I like, the financial news. And I cannot believe how much now from the US government and from like large players, they're saying, look, we're not going to stop debasing the currency. It's going to continue, and it's going to keep on continuing. And so your only option is to buy Bitcoin. This is what they keep saying. They're not even saying we should stop debasing the currency. This is bad.
Right.
They're going, it's going to happen. Buy Bitcoin. Not sometimes they say buy gold. And I'm sitting there and I just, Mike, I can't wrap my head around that they're saying it. It's like if they're saying, we're going to go to war. Look, we're going to war. I know you don't want to go to war, but we're going to war.
Pro crypto administration. We know this.
Well, it's like it's as if they said, you just got to buy Raytheon. You got to buy the big manufacturer because we're going to war. You might as well profit on the other side. And I'm just like, how can you be saying this? This is crazy.
How has that gone for the Bitcoin price though? That's the part that's been confusing to me. Is when I go back and look at how the market's responding to it, it just feels like we end up back in this chop zone
That's
here.
right.
Where we're bouncing between the 109 and the 123 level, and I'm expecting a break in either direction. It looked like for a second that was going to happen on October 17th. Prior to that news report that you showed me about the long-term play of using gold Bitcoin, which is crazy.
Crazy.
But it seemed to help a little bit, but not as much as I thought it would.
I'm gonna put on my tinfoil hat just a little bit there, and there's some fishiness going on the exchanges, some of the futures exchanges, where it looks like the price might be being suppressed deliberately so that large buyers can get the Bitcoin in at the lower price. Because as soon as those shenanigans stop for a moment, Bitcoin price shoots up.
Kind of reminds me of what happened in April of this year. Nice sell-off from tariff fears, and then an awesome opportunity to basically buy one of the best bottoms we've had in a while.
That's right.
And we get the president telling us, hey, it's a good time to buy here.
So that's where, I say tinfoil hat, but then if we just shift it to what the administration is saying, they're doing the same thing.
Yeah, right. Same thing again there. So you think we're about ready to experience a big breakout in Bitcoin?
I think we have to. I think the moment the U.S. government announces that it's going to be buying 1 million Bitcoin in the strategic reserve, that's it. Price dislocation, because they're not price sensitive, and it'll just skyrocket.
Yeah.
Plus, clearly, anyways, that's going too far down the rabbit hole. But it's just, if you just look at the price, there's nothing. If this was like bear market territory and there's no more buyers or whatever, Bitcoin should be much lower. Bitcoin should be 70,000, but it isn't. It's staying exactly flat.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I've noticed about Bitcoin is that its volatility has gradually come down over several years. We're not experienced. I've been around Bitcoin long enough to have lived through the days of 97% drawdowns, 98% drawdowns.
Right.
That was 2013, 2014 territory. And then we started to average out at roughly 70% drawdowns. And now we're in this area where it feels like it's becoming more correlated from a volatility perspective to the stock market, or NASDAQ would be a better comparison. I mean, just look at where it's at year to date. There's assets that are outperforming Bitcoin this year.
I mean, gold's outperforming Bitcoin.
Right. Just looking at my comparison chart here for year to date performance, Nvidia is doing better than Bitcoin right now.
That's right. So this is why I suspect that it's just this temporary downward pressure, and that's not cyclical. That's completely structural. And that we could have a blow off top off of Bitcoin. So if we wake up one day and it's price dislocation, 250,000 Bitcoin, and it's like Christmas, I would not be surprised.
Agreed.
The chop.
All right, so we're wicking. Every single candle has wicked on VWAP at this point. My indicator is starting to pick up a bullish potential. We get 1 point here if this candle closes above VWAP, but if it wicks again, then I still have to wait. Oh, it's such a tasty entry though. I want it.
I'm already long.
You're already long?
I never wait for candle close.
I'm trying to save myself from that, Tom.
I'm fine with the pain and the self-loathing and the regret. When I'm not, I'll let you know. The thing is, if I know other people are, if I look at it and I go, well, other people are waiting to get in as soon as it crosses here, so let me just get in right now.
That's true, and you don't want to. There's a little bit of FOMO in that approach, though, and I think that's hurt me in the past.
Well, I've also remembered, I forget the name of the show. There was this show in the UK that was like, can we turn these 10 regular people into day traders, into traders? And
Wall Street Warriors, is that what it was?
I think it was.
Yeah.
And one of these guys is sitting on a losing position, and the lead of the show comes by and he goes, "Why are you still in this position?" He goes, "Well, I'm going to wait till it gets down to over here, and then I'll sell it."
Yeah.
He goes, "If you're going to sell it lower, sell it now."
Oh, now, yeah. That's what's his name? I'm pretty sure the show was called Wall Street Warriors, and the guy you're talking about has a really good YouTube presence as well. I followed some of his stuff. Well, yeah, it was Wall Street Warriors. I'm pretty sure
that's right. Yes,
that's the one you're looking for. Yeah, because Timothy Sykes was in it as well. Oh no! I'm sorry. This was a documentary series. Maybe you guys can help us out here. There was another show that was done where it was a hedge fund that put their own money in front of these traders, and they were risking it on. Oh shoot! This is great. Okay, let's go long.
I'll ask AI.
Thank you.
All right. $1 Million Trader? No, that's a movie.
Oh, what's the dude's name? It's like Andre something.
I know the show was produced also with Raoul Pal, but I can't remember.
I've got a copy of it on another computer of mine, and I haven't watched it in a while.
All right. I'm feeling comfortable about this long. If we close above 289.
Okay. Got my live P now back on the screen. Sorry about that.
Yes, it was $1 Million Trader. Lex Van Dam. That's who it was.
Lex Van Dam was the hedge fund manager. It's the other guy. I think his name is Andre something, or it starts with an A. Who's the other guy on the show?
They're only talking about Lex Van Dam in Wikipedia.
Anton Kriel, that's his name.
I see.
The guy who actually made that comment to the trader, that's the guy I like. His name is Anton Kriel. And if you find him on YouTube, he's got a bunch of content he's done about trading in general. I remember watching his stuff back in like 2017 or 2018, and he's aggressive. Like, he's very forward, very disciplined as a trader. I like the way he talks. He's very matter of fact, but he was pretty tough on those traders.
Yeah, I mean, it was great advice, great lessons. Thinking about risk in a different way.
But I remember thinking about the same exact scene that you saw there. He's like, if you're going to stop out lower, why not just stop out now? And then he forced him. He was like, just stop out. Get out of the
Hi, Manzor. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you're doing well. If you guys are in any trades, please let us know. Unless it's opposite to my trade, in which case, keep it to yourself. I'm long.
All right, I'm long right now. I just took my first successful scalp. So that puts me at trade number 2. And sorry, guys, I flipped this screen upside down because I'm a total moron and can't go long on trades. So if I flip it upside down, it looks like I'm going short. Don't judge me.
I can only drive through my rear view mirror. That's the only way I can do it.
I like reversing my car, all right? How do we do on that one?
Okay, well, I mean, bye-bye short bias.
Win rate's
Look
50%.
at that.
No rules broken on that one. I did well.
All right.
Here's the plan, Tom.
Yeah.
Now that we've got a score building above VWAP, I would expect that if we see a little bit of a pullback here, that I would just go long on the trend side.
And then would you keep adding to the long?
If it continues.
Okay.
This looks pretty good, though. Nice, strong, bullish move.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the end of this. We have 1 minute and 50 seconds for the end of this 50-minute candle. 50-minute candles like being sus right in the last 2 minutes and right at the beginning 2 minutes.
Did you say they're sus?
Yeah, they could just completely give up their all the gains for the candle and just head back to the 50-minute VWAP. So I like to wait until like the first candle after the second minute of a 50-minute candle.
I mean, this is all time. This is new highs again.
I mean, I'm already long. Like, you know me, I was long from 285.
Got it.
This is why I don't wait, because then I'm like, should I get it now? Should I get it later? Just get it now, Tom.
Well, I was also long from 285, but I was still trying to scalp. Now I think we're starting to really start seeing the trend. I'd like to get back. I'd like to get in at 294 if I can.
Yeah, I think you could even get 288, but let's see. 50 seconds left for the 15-minute candle. All right, this is the first support level, 306. Whoa, that might be all.
Let's see what we can do to establish a trend here.
I mean, what is it? Whatever trend we get going into the FOMC gets wicked out as soon as the press release comes out at 2:00. We wick all the way through. We pause a little bit. Half an hour later, Powell speaks. We wick again, and then we continue the trend for the day.
I think that's the thing, is that even if I get into this, I'm not going to hold it through FOMC. I have to get out prior to that. So,
right.
Oh my God, look at
there
that.
We go. Yeah.
Nice. How's your trade doing, Tom?
Well, it's just one micro.
One micro.
Up 70 bucks.
I like it. Money in the bank. Or like we were saying,
I'll give it back. I'll give it back to the market.
Like we were saying with the strong trader yesterday, it's the dollars don't matter. This is all just like points on the scoreboard. The idea is to get to the finish line, and then you get the payout, and the payout has nothing to do with how much profit we've generated in these accounts. Well, I don't like chasing, Tom.
I know. Especially on the first minute of the 50-minute candle, I cannot stand it.
All right, I'm gonna have to raise my entry just a little bit here. If I can get it at 299, I'd be pretty happy.
Good luck.
Yeah,
I don't see that happening.
Neither.
Oh. $299. Oh wow! All right. Well, I guess I'm holding on to this long.
We're gonna have to get a pullback at some point, right?
No. That's very funny. Put that on the mug.
How many sessions have we said that now?
Yep.
Okay, so we're starting to build a trend here. We're 5 candles into a trend above VWAP on the 2-minute chart.
Oh yeah, how's the 2-minute chart treating you?
A little bit better. I definitely can see the advantage of holding a little bit longer on some of these trades. So moving to the 2-minute has been helpful. But again, my signal comes from a combination of what's happening on the lower time frames and the 15-minute chart and the 2-hour and the daily. And, I'm really trading around support and resistance levels on the higher time frames.
Right. All right. Well, Yeah, close to. I just wanted to ask you, when you look at that indicator, I guess I'll take a look at it later on tonight. Is there a time where generally it starts to trend, if it's going to trend for the day? Is it like at 10 o'clock, 11
I
o'clock?
think that's the thing, is it conforms with my belief that trends can form even in the first few minutes of the session.
I see.
So if it starts to push in that direction early in the session, then I'm likely I'm gonna grab that trend right from the start. We've seen it before. Lately, these last few weeks, probably 6 weeks or so, we've had choppy opens and trending sessions for the rest of the day. But it didn't used to be that way. About six weeks ago or so, it was trending opens and choppy sessions for the rest of the day. So I just follow whatever price action's doing.
Understood.
Okay, this is the pullback I was hoping for.
Look at that. You didn't FOMO in. That's great.
I'm gonna get my 299. Look at that. Oh shoot, I forgot to turn the strategy on. Guys, don't be an amateur like me. Oh my goodness. All right,
I love that.
We're gonna click the button this time.
That is very funny.
All right. Well, I didn't get 299. I got 304.
Well, at least you didn't get 320, so that's good.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we'll see where the trend carries us. I'll try to follow this one as long as it's above VWAP, and I'll place the stop a little bit below VWAP if it starts to turn against me.
All right, so we'll leave that there while we're still in our trades. Thank you everyone for participating and joining us here. Remember, if you want to use TradersPost in order to daisy chain your prop firm accounts together, or do account scaling, or connect to crypto exchanges and so on and so forth, please feel free to go to TradersPost.io and use prop scaling 20 as the coupon code in order to get 20% off your monthly or yearly subscription. If you already have a subscription, you can use the code for your add-ons. We'll be back tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for even more trading. But until then, we wish you happy trading.